Welcome to Shadowed Tales at Midnight, where the ordinary fades and the shadows come alive. I'm Evelyn Darkmoor, your guide into a world where fear lingers just beyond the edge of the light. Each week, we bring you tales of the uncanny, the chilling, and the unexplainable. Stories that'll make you question every creak in the floorboards, every whisper in the dark, and every shadow that flickers in the corner of your eyes. Are you ready to explore the unknown? To peer into the void and feel it stare back? Then join me, if you dare, as we venture into the places most fear to tread. This is Shadowed Tales at Midnight. Good evening, night dwellers. Welcome back to Shadowed Tales at Midnight, where the veil between the living and the unknown is perilously thin. Tonight's story is one whispered in hushed tones by those who have dared to walk alone at night. It is a tale of a man who stepped into the mist and never returned. This is The Man in the Fog. My name is Marcus Hale, and if you're listening to this, then I need you to understand something. Whatever you do, never stop to speak to the man in the fog. It started on an autumn night, much like this one. The air was thick with fog, the kind that rolls in off the river and clings to the street like something alive. I was walking home from the train station, my footsteps echoing against the damp pavement when I saw him. A figure standing just beneath the glow of a flickering street lamp. Marcus slowed his pace. The figure was tall and thin, dressed in an old-fashioned coat with a brim hat that cast his face in shadow, and yet Marcus could feel his gaze. I should have walked faster. I should have ignored him, but I didn't. The man in the fog lifted a hand and beckoned. Something in me, something deep and primal, screamed for me to run, but my feet didn't listen. Instead, I found myself stepping closer, as if drawn by an unseen force. The closer Marcus got, the more the air around him seemed to change. The street lamps glowed dim. The rain, though falling heavily, made no sound. And the man, he had no face. Where features should have been, there was just shifting fog swirling as though something beneath it was trying to break free. And then the whisper came. "Join me." I stumbled backwards, my heart hammering in my chest. The fog thickening around me, swallowing the street, the buildings, everything. I turned and ran faster than I ever had before. Marcus didn't stop running until he reached his apartment, locking the door behind him. But the whisper, it followed him. I haven't left my house since that night. The fog never reaches my doorstep, but I hear him every night, outside my window, waiting. Then last night, something changed. The whispers, they grew louder, and that fog, it crept closer, swirling at the edge of my vision, even though my door was locked. The shadows inside my apartment stretched, bending unnaturally in the dim light. And when I looked in the mirror, it wasn't my reflection staring back at me. A shape stood behind him in the glass. Not a person, not a shadow, just a swirling void of mist. It reached for him, its elongated fingers pressing against the other side of the mirror as if trying to break through. I turned away, but the crack is still there. It's glowing. So, dear listeners, if you find yourself walking along a foggy night and you see a man standing just beyond the light, keep walking. Do not stop. Do not listen. Because once you hear the whispers, you may never escape. Until next time, keep your lights on.